Faire state that high quality product listings drive a 10 to 25% increase in conversion. So we wanted to know, what does high quality actually mean to Faire, and what can we do about it to make sure our listings are converting 25% more? The good news is I found out, and I'll tell you all about it in this video. Hi, my name is Lucy from Candid Founders Agency. We grow brands' Faire accounts for them. In this video, I'm going to be talking you through how to make amazing product listings that convert to sales. So there are two main factors towards what makes a product listing high quality on Faire. You have the imagery and you have the text. Faire actually give you a list of criteria that you can follow through to make sure that your listings are remaining of a high standard according to them. And honestly, anytime Faire give us a bit of criteria to hit, you bet we're going to be doing it. So let's start with imagery. Faire are very prescriptive with what they say that you need for your product listing. So it starts with at least 3 product images. They need to be 2000 by 2000 pixels, and you need to make sure your imagery includes a main product shot, a lifestyle shot, and a close-up, so like a high quality zoomed in shot of your product. You need to make sure that you've got no watermarks or overlays or any text across the image. Clearly display the product on a white or light background, and this is something we see a lot of brands not doing. And they say the crop is square for non-apparel brands and rectangular for apparel brands. They also specifically say to pay attention to your featured image, which is the main image that will be displayed on your product. So when you look at your Faire shop page, all of those images in the catalog, that's your main featured image. Also anywhere else that you might appear on the marketplace, so if the algorithm is pushing you out there to other retailers, that's the image they will see. They say you can optimize your featured image by doing the following. Highlight the product clearly, so you want a clear shot, you want the whole thing in frame, so the person looking at this photo can clearly see what your product is. As with the other photos, no text, no overlays, no logos, unless of course you've got a logo on the product itself. This is no logos added onto the image itself. You need a clean and focused image of your product. And from a quality point of view as well, make sure it's well lit, high resolution, and also captures your product in a way that is true to appearance. So don't play around with the color settings so it changes the color slightly. You want the product photo to be as accurate to the product itself as possible. This will also avoid problems down the line where the retailer is unhappy with what they've bought because it looks different online compared to in person. I'll just quickly take you through our page and our product listing imagery so you can see what we've done with ours. We have a very high converting store. We're really pleased with our imagery. You can see that we've got the consistent flat lay images, so the product is positioned in exactly the same way each time. Obviously we have the same product, they're all socks, so this is going to differ depending on what products you have, but if you have consistent product imagery, it just looks better. All this consistency as you go down the page. The products are really clearly laid out, so you can see exactly what you're looking at. You can see what animal it is, what color it is. So we really recommend doing something like this wherever possible. If you're an apparel brand, it's slightly different. If you've got, say, a dress, you might not want a flat lay. It might not show off your product in the best possible way. So you might need a model wearing it. If that's the case, do try and get studio photography because it will look more professional. Don't forget you're competing with a lot of brands on this marketplace now. And if I click into the listing, you'll continue to see the photography. So we've still got this white light background. You're showing off the product really well. This is completely accurate to the color of the product in person. We go close up along the product. We've got the product in packaging, front and back, and we also have the product being worn. We've got more though, so if we keep going, I've got more images of the product being worn. So if you have more imagery, do use it. We've also included a size guide within this as well. We found that we were getting a lot of questions from retailers about sizing. It's a really important thing for them, especially because with socks and shoes, you have different sizes across different territories. So the UK, EU, and USA all use different systems for their sizing. It can get confusing. So we found that actually we put a nice branded image of the size guide within the listing, as well as in the description, and it makes things much clearer. So that was just a good use of the product images that we had. Remember that retailers are super visual. You know, they've got their own shop or boutique, possibly a website. So they are visual people and they're trying to make products look as good as possible as well. So if they come to your page and they see rubbish imagery, what are the chances that they're actually going to buy from you? If they're coming to our page, they see good imagery, and we share all this imagery with them as well. We give them Google Drive so they have access to all of these. It makes their job much easier. When we first got into wholesale and we didn't really have a good database of photography, we had some retailers would do their own photography and sometimes they were not very good. So don't forget that this is your brand being put out into the world. Wherever it's being shown, you want it to be its best possible standard. So that is why we share our imagery with all of our retailers. We want it to be consistent across the internet. You also do have the option of adding a video into your listing. So if you have videos to hand or you can easily make them, we do recommend doing that. You know, it's a good way to show off the product more and stand out from other brands. Possibly if you're an apparel brand, you can have a video of someone wearing it. Maybe they're doing a catwalk. Or if you've got a more practical product, you could show someone how it is actually used. If you have a product that's like less obvious obvious for a video. So take, for example, a candle maybe. If you're doing a studio photography, at the same time, why not take a quick video? So you could have a rotating stand just to show off the product 360, or something as simple as show someone lighting the candle and putting it into a cozy, staged home environment. It's all about showing your product at its best. So we've talked about imagery. Now let's talk about text, which is the next part and a really important part of optimizing your product listings. You have 60 characters to play with within the title, and you have 1,000 characters to play with within the product description itself. So you want to be using all of these. Use them to provide helpful and relevant descriptions for your retailers, for the ones hitting the page. Also, you want trending and seasonal keywords so your page is SEO optimized to give you the best possible reach. So I'm going to revert back to Faire's guidance here, because it's really important you follow what they're saying, because they're the ones that have the key to their algorithm. They say include relevant keywords such as the product type and product attributes. We talk a lot about this in our SEO videos, and in fact we have a template you can use where you can do all of this in one go without having to manually update every single listing. Remember, you want to accurately describe the product using keywords. So think about the product category, the product type, color, possibly even materials. And then once you've accurately described it, you can think about what keywords you have remaining that could fit into trending topics. So this might be something for the time of year. For example, we put stocking fillers into our listings during Christmas, or you might be hitting on different keywords depending on what's important for you in each season. If you want to include a SKU, do so in the dedicated SKU field. Don't do this in the product title. And avoid using phrases like sale, promotions, free shipping, or anything like that in the product title as well. And another thing they say is make sure you don't have any duplicated names within your catalog. So that's your product title. Let's move on to product description. Make sure you include relevant details in a structured format. So they recommend using kind of lists and bullet points to make it super clear for your retailers. The good news is our SEO template does all this for you, so I'll link you to the video on that. We recommend having a brief explanation of what the product is. Then you can also have a quick sentence to describe what your brand is and what you stand for, and make sure you bullet list out the key details of that product. So I'm talking about things like size, any other product attributes, maybe color, materials, how to use the product, how to take care of the product, anything that you might fit on your B2C website as well. So you should already have this information to hand. The remaining characters you have within that 1,000 character limit, it's really important to make sure you're using keywords to stuff out your listing and make sure it's 1, relevant to the retailer, 2, still makes sense to read, 3, you're showing up for relevant search terms without making it look like a spammy keyword listing. So Andy does a really good video on all of this, including how to use our template, so I will link you to it. Also, for ease, don't include anything in your product listing that will be subject to change. So things like shipping prices, pricing of the product itself, any sales that you might have on for that time of year, because all you're doing is creating work for yourself, because once you change things, you're going to have to remove it from all of your listings. So you want to do it so your listings aren't going to be changed too much. And in fact, we SEO optimize typically quarterly. You don't want to go much more than that because you want your listings to stay the same, but there'll be certain keywords that we can kind of remove and add in depending on the time of year. So that is the guidance on how to create product listings that will convert to sales. So do take this video, take this criteria, have a look at your own pages, your product listings, and be honest with yourself. Are you hitting all of that criteria? If you are, amazing. If not, you have a list of things that you can improve on. I hope you found this video useful. Do drop us a like if you did, and make sure you subscribe to get weekly content to help you thrive on Faire. And I'll see you in the next video.